Hello, my name is Alex McDonald, and today on this video, I want to talk to you about confidence and standing tall. So, what exactly is confidence, and why do some people have it and others don't? That's a great question. And like I mentioned in a previous video, take the world and treat it as your laboratory. Study those around you, study those that you are able to study, and learn everything you can from them. And I took this from The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David Schwartz. But let's ask some questions. Is the reason some people have confidence because they didn't grow up with traumatic childhood? Is the reason some people have confidence because they discovered certain books that changed their mind? Is the reason some people have confidence, is it because they found mentors that shaped their thinking? Is the reason some people have confidence is because they were just born naturally blessed? Well, let's dig into the definition of confidence and see if this helps us a little bit. It says, a feeling of or consciousness of one's powers or of reliance on one's circumstances. So confidence is knowing that you have a power and that you're able to rely on your circumstances. Now that's an interesting way to put it, and it's a lot of big words, but the question is, can you rely on yourself to meet your needs or have your needs met? And do you realize the power that you have? You are a human being with a very unique mind that is creative, that is intelligent, and that can do anything it puts its mind to. And you may be thinking, well, I've tried some things and I failed, so I don't have confidence. That's okay. We all fail, and we all have to come back from that. And so I was reading this book about Michael Jordan by author Sam Smith, and he had this quote from Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller was talking about who some of the greatest athletes of all time are. And he said, if there was a Mount Rushmore of the last 100 years of sports, it would be Jackie Robinson, Babe Ruth, Muhammad Ali, and Michael Jordan, of course. Now let's examine some of these players. Jackie Robinson was the first African-American baseball player in an all-white league during one of the most chaotic times in American history. He experienced death threats, extreme racism, continued violence, and all kinds of the worst behaviors surrounding him and targeted at him just because of his skin color. And he was such an excellent baseball player that nobody could deny that. They were just mad that he was African American playing in a sport that shouldn't have allowed them, is what the people said. But as we see today, everyone is created equally, and he was a big part of that. Now let's look at Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was overweight. Most baseball players aren't fat, so to say, and he was ridiculed for that. But the difference between Babe Ruth and any other baseball player was Babe Ruth swung that bat. He visualized, he believed in himself, he had confidence, he swung that bat. He had more strikeouts and more strikes than anyone else. But the key is he had more home runs than anybody else because he kept swinging that bat. And so he had confidence in himself to keep trying to overcome those failures. And then Ali was similar to Jackie Robinson, yet even worse because he was a professing Muslim. He experienced extreme racism. He experienced death threats. He just dig into his story and you'll see what he went through. But he kept doing auto-suggestion and reprogramming, saying, I'm the greatest in the world. I'm the greatest in the world. I'm the greatest. Why did he do that? Because he had to shut all those other voices up and hear just that one voice and believe in himself, which translated to victory after victory and becoming what Reggie Miller says is one of the biggest icons of all of sports. Not just boxing, but all of sports. Now let's look at Michael Jordan. He was cut from his high school basketball team. Could you imagine being that coach? I was talking to my son Liam about this and my son Xander about this, and they're like, how did he get cut? Can you imagine like being that coach and the embarrassment that you feel like, yeah, I cut the greatest basketball player of all time from my team. I'm such a stud. We didn't win state that year. We actually had a losing season, but it was because he was cut from that team that drove him to work hard, that built his work ethic. So we look at all four of these guys, and we know they exude confidence. They couldn't exude confidence and succeed. They had to listen to the winner within them to become the winner outside of them. They used rejection as energy. Now, there's this story that Orrin Woodward tells about when he was in middle school. He did this lapathon. And so they were able to raise money, give me $1 per lap. And he went around telling everybody, I'm going to do an insane amount of laps. I'm going to do 30 laps in 60 minutes. And people are like, dude, you don't even run, and that's insane. The cross-country athletes aren't even running that many laps. I'm not sponsoring you. That's not possible. And so he's getting rejection after rejection after rejection. And being the hard-charging personality he is, a choleric, if you don't know what that means, then check out Personality Plus by Florence Littauer. He decided he was going to go back to those people and say, you can sponsor me for $1 a lap, and if I don't do it, you can tell me I told you so. And if I do it, you have to pay the money. And so you don't believe I can do it, go ahead and sponsor me. And don't worry, you don't think you'll have to pay me, but I promise you will pay me. And so he's getting to the week following it, and he's like, I'm gonna train for this. I'm gonna go to the end of my block. All right, I feel pretty good. I think I can do this. 30 laps is a lot of miles. And he's like, I've never ran before, but I'll go ahead and do this. And the next day he goes around the block and he gets tired. He's like, oh man. So he's not set up for this. He's not prepared, but he gets into the race and his dad's there. His dad is timing him, and his dad starts the timer early. And so it messes up the time. So he's running, he's doing the first lap, and he's like, this is for Bobby Joe running. This is for Billie Jean. This is for Brian. This is for Bob. I don't know why I keep choosing B names, but I don't remember the exact names he said. But this one's for Susie. And every time he started getting tired, he thought to himself, that person said I couldn't do it. I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to run this lap. I'm going to finish it. This one's for my dad, who said that I'm crazy thinking I could run this many laps. So he's at 29 laps, and he's just giving it everything he's got. And he's thinking about every form of rejection. He's thinking about every person telling him he couldn't do it, and he's doing it. And then his dad yells, Orrin, you gotta run. You have 1 minute left. So he's on the second turn, and he's told he has 1 minute left. So he has 300 meters to go, and probably almost a world record. He starts sprinting, giving it everything he's got, thinking, I can't lose, I can't fail, I can't let all these people come up to me and say I told you so. So he's running, he's sprinting, and he collapses at the finish line, and he gets 30 laps. And the coach is standing there, he's like, what are you doing? You have 5 minutes left. Because remember, his dad started the timer early, and he's like, oh my goodness. So he gets up in that 5 minutes. He doesn't even finish one more lap because he gave it everything he had. But why was he able to do that? Because he didn't take his rejections and say, oh, poor me, I can't do this. Oh, they don't believe in me, I can't do this. He took his rejections and turned them into energy. Just like Muhammad Ali, Jackie Robinson, Babe Ruth, Michael Jordan, all the greats of all time, every form of rejection gave them a little bit of energy and gave them more motivation to go out and give more and to prove the haters wrong and to win and excel and succeed. And so I want to encourage you to not be a victim, but be a victor, be a champion. Have the mindset, that person said I can't do it, I'm going to prove them wrong. That person said some stupid things about me, that doesn't matter because I know the truth about me. And so here's some steps to confidence that I want to give you, maybe just 3. Number 1, stand up tall, have eye contact with everybody you meet. You walk into a room, smile, shake their hands. Hey, I'm Alex, what's your name? Be confident. Just pretend to be confident, and you'll become more confident. And every time you start looking people in the eye more and more and more, it'll become natural for you. Smile. Smile in the mirror. Smile when you're laying in bed. Smile as much as you can. Even if you never smile, then it'll become more natural for you. And your smile will actually start to look better and better over time. And then number 3, be like Muhammad Ali and do auto-suggestion, but it has to be with emotion. You have to believe the things you're saying. And so don't say things like, I'm the world's greatest, but I just punched a baby in the face, so I know I'm not the world's greatest. What the heck's wrong with me? Why am I saying I'm the greatest? It causes resentment when you don't use that. But you know that you're human, and you know that you're creative, and you know that you're intelligent. You may not be the most smartest person in the world. Like, I don't even know if the most smartest person in the world is a proper phrase. Like, who cares? But we have the ability to think, and we have the ability to examine our thoughts and to change our mind about things. And so if you were raised with the program that you're not good enough, then start to change that with emotion to, I'm not as bad as they said I was. I have these gifts. I have these talents. I have these attributes that are good. And tell yourself that every morning and every night. And if you want some information on this, you can check out Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You can check out Resolved by Orrin Woodward. And then there's also the Personal Development School by Tyus Gibson. Courses for real life. Amazing course that'll teach you how to start reprogramming your subconscious mind on a personal level. And it's really great. Make sure you check that out. But stand up tall, have good body language, have eye contact, practice smiling, and start telling yourself the truth about yourself. And you'll be more confident. Take those rejections, turn them into energy. Don't believe the lies, believe the truth that is about you. And that's your great. And I believe in you, and I love you, so I'll see you at the top. So I'll see you real soon. Thanks.